Alright, so I was doing some thinking earlier. Decided to watch a couple videos on YouTube from Battle Nonsense about the netcode from Black Ops Cold War, as well as go back and look at it for Modern Warfare, as well as look at some from Black Ops 4. Essentially, when Black Ops 4 released, the servers were running at a 20 Hz tick rate, which is just horrible. That means that the game's updating 20 times every second. Ideally, you would want 60 plus. 60 is like the lowest possible acceptable frame rate, tick rate that you would accept from a server. Anything lower than 60 ticks, 60 Hertz servers, anything lower than that, you're going to have very, very inconsistent gunfights, getting shot around corners, shoot first, die first, lagging, rubber banding, all those type of things. So after a little while, Treyarch went and fixed the servers and it went up to 50 Hertz servers. It was around 52 Hertz servers. 52 ticks every single second, checking the state of where every single player is in the map, where the bullets are, what the guns are doing, all that type of stuff. So, Modern Warfare releases. Ground War has 25 tick servers, 25 Hertz. It's updating 25 times every second, and that's still where it's at right now to date. And the regular multiplayer had around 52 Hertz servers. But what was discovered was sometimes in some situations, depending on the location of the players within that particular match, it's getting switched from being a dedicated server hosted match to being a peer-to-peer match, meaning one player in the match is going to be the host. That's the reason why you're not able to see everybody's ping in the lobbies. It's because they want to hide from you when you're in a peer-to-peer hosted match. Because when you're in a peer-to-peer hosted match, as Battle Nonsense said in Modern Warfare 2019, because you can see everybody's ping, you'll see the host of the match with 9 millisecond ping. You're usually not going to have that, like he said, unless you're like really, really close to the data center. That's particularly the one that's hosting that server of the game for that match, or unless you are the host of the peer-to-peer match. So, with that in mind, that's why they're hiding the ping on Black Ops Cold War. I think they've brought it back where not every single match is going to be peer-to-peer, is going to be dedicated. Some of the matches are going to be peer-to-peer. If the skill-based matchmaking decides it wants to kick in and bring people into the lobby from really, really far destinations, it might just pick one of the players in the lobby to be the peer-to-peer host because he's the closer connection between everybody, and it's less expensive for Activision to have a peer-to-peer hosted environment. And if they're hiding it, it could probably be happening way more often than you imagine it is. Like a lot of these situations where you just think it's variation in ping, it's not even variation in ping. You're literally getting a 20 Hertz server versus a 50 tick rate dedicated server because you're getting a peer-to-peer connection, which is just completely unacceptable. That's the reason why the ping is hidden. It just finally clicked with me. So we have the ping hidden. We have low tick rate servers. We have a bunch of parameters like distance traveled, shots missed, near misses. There's actually a category being tracked every single match called near misses. Why do they need to track your bullets that almost hit the enemy? Like, for what exact purpose? I can understand hits and misses, but near misses? Is that to test their internet connection, or is that to give somebody some type of leeway with something? Near misses. Why are they tracking near misses in a multiplayer thing? The only reasonable explanation would be for lag compensation or something, maybe to do some kind of study for the tuning they need to do with their lag compensation. That's the only reasonable explanation. Or maybe how big they should make hitboxes in general for everybody to minimize getting shot around corners or near misses or something. I don't know. Near misses sounds very suspicious, and that sounds like something that could be exactly what conspiracy theorists are talking about when they say there's an algorithm helping certain players and affecting certain players and stuff like that. I can understand distance traveling, pairing people who are campers with people who move around and vice versa and stuff like that. But near misses, I would be curious to hear an explanation as to what exactly that does. What exactly that gets factored into as far as decision making in the game. Most online multiplayers do have 60 Hz servers and a lot have less. Some, very few, have more, such as Valorant. I can't even really think off the top of my head any others that have more. But if Call of Duty had 75 Hz or 100 Hz servers, Valorant has 120 Hz servers. If Call of Duty had 100 Hz servers, packet loss, packet burst, lag, rubber banding, shoot first, die first, all sorts of situations would happen far less because there would be more data flowing constantly. So if there was a little bit lost, the game would understand, the engine would understand more of what's going on, and there would be less predictive algorithms going on in the background causing... I can hear you, brother. I'm talking to... When I say predictive algorithms, I mean lag compensation for the most part. I mean prepared statements in the code that are basically going to fill in the blanks and basically guess what the next values in the system are going to be because they dropped some data packets, so they don't know exactly where this player is on the map. They don't know exactly how many bullets have been fired from this gun, so the algorithm's just going to guess what happened. It's kind of interesting. On Battlefield, they have a system in place that changes from client to client, which is player to player hit detection. When one player is above a certain ping, I think it's like 150 or something like that, which is really high ping, by the way. But when they're above that, it switches from peer-to-peer hit detection to dedicated server hit detection to determine what happened in that particular moment. I think that's more practical for like a larger scale game like Battlefield, where you're playing with very many people on each team. It could even be practical for Ground War. It could possibly make the netcode better on there, and then they could have better than a 20 Hz server. But I think for 6 versus 6 or 5 versus 5, even 12 versus 12, I mean, if they can do 5 versus 5 on Valorant on a free-to-play game and give you a 120 tick rate server, they could give us 100 for Call of Duty for a paid game that, you know, has more advanced graphics and everything like that. But it's a paid game, and Activision just makes so much money. And the thing is, they're holding out on these type of expenses and stuff like that for as long as they possibly can, because majority of their player base on console has never experienced playing on a higher tick rate. Playing, you know what I mean? Like it's a certain thing. Like even like when I first started playing on PC, I can't, like playing single player games, you can just notice how smooth the frame rate is and stuff like that. And then when you're playing online, it's still super smooth. The only thing really that the internet fucks with is like the hit detection and getting shot around corners and stuff like that. But jumping from console to PC, I was just like, wow. So if you've never really seen, you know, 144 hertz gameplay or whatever, if you've never experienced that, then you don't really know how messed up the servers are. Like if you've never played Valorant on a PC and then switched to Call of Duty and compared the hit detection and stuff like that, it's like it's a whole different world. It really is. It's just like the code and everything behind Valorant, the data, everything like that. Even though I'm not really a big fan of the way that the ranked is super volatile, and it really favors people who have friends and organize and get together and queue up together. But aside from it not really being the best experience for a solo player, I mean, I'm sure there's some solo players out there that really have a fun time. But aside from that, what they're doing with their game and their net code and everything like that is just spot on. Oh, and not to mention their anti-cheat. I know it has to work at the kernel level, but I think people would be willing to install an anti-cheat at the kernel level on Call of Duty at this point of everything. You know, I'm sure people would be hesitant because the last thing they want to do is trust Activision with all their data on their computer. But I mean, Google and other stuff's probably getting a lot of it too anyways. So, I don't know. What do y'all think about the whole subject? Do y'all think Activision just needs to pony up, buy some better equipment? They're not really buying it. They're really renting it for the most part. Some of it they have to buy. But they need to pay for a higher tier of their web hosting, their server rentals. Everybody have a great day.